Hello and welcome to Any Color You Like. This is your co host Mahima, and today we are tackling a topic that can be intimidating, awkward, and let's face it, a little anxiety inducing. Yes, we are talking about women and money. For me, this episode hits close to home that even after being financially be independent for years and years and earning my own money, I still don't feel truly financially literate. I can talk about anything. I'm a fucking scientist. Like, you give me any hormone or whatever and stuff, I'll explain you. But when it comes to money, that's where I freeze up. And I'm almost embarrassed to talk about it. So when Krithvi and I started having these conversations around money with other women, both older and younger, we realized just how common this struggle is. And Krithvi and I can totally relate. Even with all our privilege and fancy degrees, we still struggle to talk about money openly, while teenage boys bond over stocks trends like it's the latest Marvel movie. So we got on board one of the most inspiring women I've had chance to know, Sneha Khatri, co-founder of Alice Club, and she's on a mission to make the road to financial independence a lot less intimidating and way more accessible for women. In this episode, we get into the real talk about women and money. No dry, step-by-step tips here. Sneha dives deep into societal, systematic, and psychological roadblocks that make financial independence feel like climbing Everest in flip-flops. And Sneha's just not like showing up. She is bringing her goddamn table and chair to every space where you'd expect to see a typical finance bro. Like from boardrooms packed with VCs to the golf courses where deals are made, and making sure women have a fucking seat.
Hello and welcome back to Any Color You Like. I'm Krithvi, this is Mahima, and today we're joined with a girl in finance, blue eyes, 6'5". But we are joined with a beautiful woman in finance, Sneha Khatri. One of the first things that Sneha wrote to me was saying that women don't need another lecture on what they should be doing. So I said, yes, let's interview her because I don't need anyone else to tell me what I should be doing.
I personally want to know what I should be doing because I'm so bad with my finance.
Yeah, and she has a startup called Alice Club, which we will get into later. But Sneha, I wanted to ask you, you were very specific that your company is for women and for empowering women. And I know all the non-feminists, which are not most of our audience, but the few that are always like, oh, why do these women get so much special attention? Like, stop it. Everything doesn't need to be about women, etc., etc. So I think one of the discussions that we did have was like, okay, we're not going to make people financially literate in this 1 hour podcast. It's not a Gyani podcast, but we're going to dig deep into why it's important to talk about women and finance in a special context.
Great. Thank you so much for this lovely introduction and your vibrant personalities. Like, I was like, oh my God, I have to do something with these guys. Like, 'cause I love the way you guys talk and like, yeah, no, let me flatter you a little. I love the concept that three of us are even coming together and talking. You couldn't have imagined this, right? A few years ago, that women would have such a voice that they'd be talking about ideas so passionately with each other. I'd only imagine it like physically that someday I'll open a club, where women can talk. And I used to see a lot of these like knitting clubs and a lot of these clubs. And I'm like, okay, great. But like nobody wants to knit anymore. Like nobody wants to do these old school things anymore. But like, so the idea for me is that I've always worked in gender, like throughout my career, like whether it's been, I was teaching at a university. So gender was of my interest, like the underlying theme. But the gap around finance is something that my partner Pranav sort of brought to my attention. I'd gone up to him and I'd said, I really want to do something for skill development. And, he said, but there is a business problem or there's a gap right here. So he said, there are hundreds of women I speak to on an everyday basis. And all they say is that the bankers speak to us in such a patronizing manner. Like, the way they make us feel so dumb. They make us like, they're like, aapko ye nahi aata, aapko wo nahi aata, like you don't know this, right? And that's when we realized that this is such a good overlap between the both of our skill sets in general. And obviously, because I come from a family where investment was one of our key areas, like my dad's a real estate investor. So, but I'd grown up learning these principles which I'd taken for granted, right? Which I was like, sabko hi aata hoga, right? Like I was like, all the women around me, or everybody
nahi aata hai.
Right? Like and my sister and I were like, oh no, but debt is lucrative, right? Like, and they're like, nahi, debt nahi lena hai, right? Like, it's like credit credit aversion was very high.
Yeah.
Yet like when I started seeing that the divide is getting so big, right? Like between the men and women, the men who were also talking the same language suddenly are now very up on mutual funds, or very like they now know their game. Like till 25 you must have not sensed it with your peers.
Yeah.
And as we are getting into our 30s, like the divide is getting further and further, and you're like, oh my god, women are not talking about this at parties or at golf club or at anything, and the men are just like sitting and discussing where to invest, right? Invest becomes such a big conversation starter.
Yeah.
And women are heavily like, again, like out of the entire conversation.
Yeah.
So that was for me like a big starting point, that it wasn't just a business idea, it was also the activist in me, which was like, I obviously saw a great, like, it as a great business opportunity, because a lot of people, initially told us, Arey, why women as a category? And our response was always, if fintech can be a category, if health tech can be a category, women are the largest category. Nykaa was founded on those principles.
Yeah.
Because if you're not looking at them as a category, you're missing out on a huge population which wants personalization and tailoring, right? So that was, for me and for Pranav, that was like, we spoke to hundreds of women and did a lot of research. For almost 6 months, I was not confident that no, we need to find out if this is a problem. And he's like, oh my God, how much validation do you need, or how many signals do you need?
That's being a true woman. This is how much validation we need.
You need, or the imposter syndrome of like, no, maybe something will go wrong, or like something like, and then I hear friends who were investing crores in their, like taking money and investing in their businesses. And I've seen women around me are so cautious. They're like, I'm going to put in only this much, or chip in only this much, because again, I also think it's great because they're smart, right? Like they're not just like, 5 crore ka business shuru kar diya, and then they want every penny's worth from something. Yeah.
What you said, that women as a category, I think I told you this when we were talking, that like when I initially in January and February was thinking to work in women's health in India, one thing that I was met with, which is majority of men saying that to me, that, oh, it's such a saturated category. Like, like that's actually a word I heard like over and over again, that, women don't need more help.
Yeah.
And also imagine if somebody wanted to open another bar, right? These men would all chip in and be like, no, bro, there's another need for a bar. There's another need, like, aapka category is saturated, their category is not saturated. So you hear so many no's, right? You start like internalizing that that's the reality. And you're anyway underconfident, right? Because you've not had access to VC networks. All of you have not studied in IIT Delhi or IIT Bombay, and like your bestie is not the head of a VC fund and this and that. And they all like, these networks are great and helpful, right? To encourage each other. Ki bhai, tu business khol de, main paisa laga dunga. This is network effect in real time, right?
Yeah.
So
you do hear so many times that 4 men like started like a startup in IIT second year, first year. I've heard so many times. I've never heard women started. Like, I think there's a papad brand called Ijjat.
Ijjat, yeah.
That is more of the stories I hear, where like women in small secluded, villages started, which is amazing. But I never hear like women together coming in like IITs or all these big institutes, despite being there. First of all, we are represented very less in, like, especially in India. Or even when I did my engineering in America, I used to be one girl in like my mech engineering classes. So I don't know, where do you think, my question is like, where do you think this stems from? Like, where does it start? Why are we so fearful and scared to take these big risks and everything?
See, I also really want to quickly touch upon the Lijjat Papad example because it's so close to my heart. In India, financial revolution for women actually happened bottom up. It was the women at bottom, or women at the lower economic status, which started like, self-help groups, which started pooling money in a more formal or in a more pooled manner than, for example, women on the top were, right?
Yeah.
So, we of course had like something we discussed, middle income, kitty party, and, like these kind of structures existed. But, for these people are the people who had actually pooled in and co-pooled money and actually started the financial conversation around women's banking or women's finances. Coming back to the question on why women have been fearful, I think it's, again, like any other women issue, it's like systemic, right, in every way. You're not good at math, you're not good at, like, women are not encouraged to take STEM subjects, women are not encouraged in finance. I mean, ask any woman working in a banking space how toxic the environment is, right? If you speak to anybody, like, if they're going to have a candid chat with you, they're going to tell you that ICICI, HDFC, any wealth management brand that you see, what is the inside environment. No woman is able to survive these kind of environments because and when they speak up, they're like, that's how it is, the amount of masculinization of the entire environment or the entire system. And that's why Krithvi and I, when we sort of bonded over this, that women don't need to be given a lecture ki ye karo, like need to, right?
Yeah.
That we need to just like change the bloody system and the entire environment. Like, the entire environment is not conducive for women to work in or women to even deal with on the other side. Like when you're going, like insurance people are selling you high sales, high premium products, right? Just the other day, I had a friend tell me that 40% they were selling, so she just got pregnant and had a second child, and the banker was just like, "Ki, अरे अब तो आपके 2 बच्चे हो गए हैं. What if something happens to your husband?" They use that language, right? What if something happens to your husband? Like आप अपना premium बढ़ा लो, like because that's the sales, pushy sales. Like, they're not telling them that risk product or investment product अलग है, that these are not to be confused with each other. So these are the things that just like bother you. It's so systemic. It starts from school. Then you see, right? Like for example, Mahima and I were discussing how when she started in biotech, and so many people must have discouraged, like, and when I was wanting to do a PhD at 30, you want to do a PhD, at 35 you want to do this.
शादी कब करोगे स्नेहा प्लीज? अच्छे होने के टाइम हो गया. एक्सक्यूज मी.
पैसों के बारे में बात कर रहे हो? अरे तुम्हारा पति
ऐसी बात नहीं करती है, चुप करके बैठ जाओ, ठीक है?
Exactly, right? Like when you are in that ecosystem, you start thinking, okay, this is not conducive for me and this is not for me. I don't know too many women who are now, yes, but which is a good thing also. It works in our favors that we don't engage in day trading. I don't know too many women who are in FNO. It's mostly you hear young boys, right? In fact, it's become an epidemic of sorts. Young boys.
Zomato का स्टॉक देखा?
Exactly. Young boys have borrowed money. Young boys.
It's like
are borrowing
gambling.
money.
I feel like it's almost like jua at this point, na?
Hey, it is jua. It is absolutely. Humans have a proclivity to gambling, तो वो तो होगा ही. Like and that's why India में तो. So what happened in '93 when the stock market, when the country liberalized also, that's why people's projection of the stock market or the imagination of the stock market is like कि पैसा डूब जाता है.
Yeah.
Because in '93 when this happened, then a lot of these brokers and middlemen were extremely misguided and misguiding, right? Like they were like, जितना premium बना सकते हो, let's make. Only now that mutual fund, if you've heard like mutual fund sahi hai, they are just like educating. The first phase is even not even ki let's like do anything else. Let's just educate that mutual fund sahi hai. Like things like these tools are great and don't need to be scared. And in US the proliferation is almost 50%. In India it's only 3%. And if you see mutual funds ke andar, there's a 40 trillion, almost 40 trillion concentration, which is a huge number. But imagine that going up from 3% to like, let's say a number like 20, 30, 40, and women are going to make up a huge number of that, a huge number.
Yeah, no, like I want to go back on this systemic thing, okay? Because I feel like we started this conversation, I think most people think that these are buzzwords, systemic problems, cultural conditioning. These are just like fancy words that women use to take, shed responsibility from themselves. And obviously, this is not a social studies class, so I'm not explaining any asshole what cultural conditioning is. But I want to give my own example, and this is, very honest example here. That I come from a pretty privileged family, I never had to worry about money, where my money is coming from, where my dad is making money, where my investments are going. And neither did my brother. He never had to. He's 5 years younger than me. He never had to worry about it. But surprisingly, even when he was 14 or 15, he was having these conversations with my dad. Like, he knew our entire portfolio by the time he was 19. I still, if you ask me, I have no idea what money my dad makes, how much money I have in stocks, how much property we have. Zero. Like, I could not tell you how rich I am. I am rich. I just know that much, right? And I've been happy living in that bubble that, okay, मेरे को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? मेरे घर की बिजली चल रही है, मेरी गाड़ी चल रही है, no problem. But that's, one of the things that you had written was also like women are so left out of these conversations. Now, of course, there could be a situation where people could be like, you can go and ask, तुम जाके क्यों नहीं बैठती हो? But somewhere, that distance becomes so big where I'm like, maybe this is not meant for me. Like you said, I was not good at math. Maybe I won't understand only what mutual fund is, what SIP is. Fucking, I have a master's degree. I can understand these basic things, but that systemic conditioning is so deep rooted and starts at such a young level that even someone like me who claims herself to be a feminist is still, dependent on my dad or my brother to take care of my finances. And now if I'm talking about marriage, I've been bothered by this thought that, okay, so now will I be dependent on my husband? Like, what if he steals my money? Like, what if he does this? What if he fucking is cheating on me? Like, what am I supposed to do? So
Yeah.
there's so many questions that now only at the point where I'm thinking about getting married is when I'm thinking about these things, which is an extremely unfeminist thing for me to do and a very irresponsible thing for me to do. But I know you are of the perspective that the entire onus does not rely on me. So kind of, what are your thoughts?
Completely agree. No, and it's almost like a ripple effect, right? Like if nobody asks, then nobody asks. Like that, like. But this token-based asks, when you get married, you realize, oh,
Yeah.
oh, I need to go here, give me money. I need to do this, give me money. And then your self-esteem is like chips away, right? Slowly
Yeah.
you're like, okay, but why am I feeling so dependent on this person? Like if anything goes wrong, like you said, a negative surprise, like cheating, or for that matter, the worst kind of negative surprise, or your spouse passing away.
Correct.
A lot of the times, 80% of the times women's spouses pass away, they get a negative surprise.
Yeah.
At least in the US, that was the study, and there's not enough literature in India, sadly. But we can understand why, right? Like a lot of the money is mismanaged, a lot of the money. So then you realize, oh my God, I'm in a bad place financially. Suddenly, like you said, you don't know the construct of your portfolio, you don't know how to go about it, you don't know who the money is with, like, or in what
Yeah.
capacity. I also think that like this marriage was a very important bit for us because we saw that there are lifespans in women's lives which are very different from men's lives, right? Men, regardless of marriage or not, they look at financial independence from, like, they're trained to be कि भाई तुम्हें you have to be financially independent. Even apart from your father, men start building their own portfolio. Okay, like nahi, apart from my dad also, I need to have my own portfolio, right? So but with women, especially, marriage is one. The other biggest sort of life voice event is when they have a child, and that's when you become extremely dependent on an external member or any not many think of that cash flow. Okay, अरे वो 2 साल में मेरा cash flow का कैसे होगा?
Right.
Because see, like you said, you have wealth, right? You have that. Let's say you have. I'm talking about highly upper caste privileged women here, right? Like let's say you have that one property or somewhere, right? But you're not going to sell that off to take care of yourself for the next 2 years, right?
Yeah.
But the sense let's say you were in a job, you were getting a fixed salary. Now you were like, no, I just don't want to work for the next 2 years. Again, that token based ask is going to kick in, and you're going to be like, oh God, I don't want to ask money for like these small things, right? Like, और उसको हिसाब थोड़ी दूंगी कि like ये कराया, इतना खर्च किया. Let's say you want to give it to your own parents at some point, and
Yeah.
you want to like fund something that. I mean, I feel like this marriage bit specifically is a big lifestone, and that's when women actually start thinking about money for the first time. Is what
Yeah.
at least we have noticed from a lot of women. Or when they move into like having a child, and acha, now what? Like these become such important milestones.
Yeah, I mean, my mother, she started her business at the age of 32. Like, my dad had a very established factory, industrial business at that point. She was 32. She had me and my brother. And then she was like, no, I don't want to ask money. I know she had this thing in her that I want to make my own money. Kudos to her. 32, she's like, fuck it, I'm going to start my own business. And she is still running that business. That's her first child right now. But one thing that I've seen over the years, she started with a very small business in clothing, and now she's like earns pretty well. But she had this, although she had this financial independence, she's not taking money from her husband, she's making her own money. She still over the years never went beyond in investments, went beyond, like, I think the mutual funds that you go to a typical bank person and they do it, and then she invests in gold. So I often hear these conversations between my brother, who's in America, who's really into like stock bro kind of a person, where my mother's like you should invest some money into buying this gold or that gold, but my brother's like, no, I can use that money to invest and do day trading because I'm pretty good at it. So they're like always fighting back and forth, and that's when my mom is like, what is that? Like, why do I not know these things? So like that's another thing in India. Women, they are saving, but they are not saving in the right places. I mean,
It's
gold
not
is a
growing.
good place.
It's
Yeah.
not compounding.
Yeah, compound. So yeah, like, what do you think about that?
No, I agree. I mean, the gold bait is extremely important an example because there are tools like gold bonds, sovereign gold bonds, like let's say the world goes to shambles, everything, right? You think that's what you think, right? The physical safety of having the asset is what you think ki ye to hai, right? I've kept some gold in my locker. That's what women start thinking.
Yeah.
Now, in that sense, gold bonds provide you the same security, same safety, and the tax is very low. So the government has reduced the tax on purpose, because every time a country has to import gold, there is some amount of money they have to pay. So the government is trying to import less and less, and then because at the same time sabka requirement nahi hoga, right? Mahima and Krithvi and Sneha might not need their gold bonds back at the same time. So how a country balances it by giving the bonds, and at a future time when you require it, you take it. But it's the most safe way. It's guaranteed by the government. So the government has reduced the tax on that, promoting it. Like they're promoting like, because women, and you know, a lot of the times cheating also happens, right? For example, the gold is not registered in anyone's name.
Yeah.
So thoda idhar rakh liya, udhar rakh liya, you know, like, you know, there's no guarantee to
It's
know,
not
right?
documented in the right way at
Yes,
all.
it's not
All the
documented. Now
document
with a
money
lot
that
of these
came out when Notbandi happened. Remember, all the women were like, "मेरे पास इतना पैसा क्या करूँ मैं?"
My dadi was one of them. She hates Modi. She's not a BJP supporter, dude. She is a Hindutva person, but she's like, fuck Modi. मेरे इसने 10 लाख रुपए डुबवा दिए. मेरे पति को पता चल गया कि मेरे पास कितने पैसे थे. You know, she was just livid.
Oh my God, yeah, so many women's money came out, right? The
Yeah.
Stridhan. And
Only women's money. Like, I'm telling you, sorry to interrupt you, but it was a big conversation in my house where my chachu and my dad and my dadu are talking, and they're like, yeah, we are fine, our entire business is in white, no worries. And the women are just standing like, oh, like, you know, we have like 20 lakh rupees in cash that we've been collecting for the last 25 years. What the fuck are we supposed to do about
Kitties and
this? Stuff like, if my dad would give, like, let's say my mom 50,000 rupees to run her house, she would save 10,000 rupees from
Right.
that money कि मैं अपनी बेटी की शादी पे सेट खरीदूंगी, that type. So
yeah, no, you're right. And women are fundamentally good at that. You know, women are very good at saving. So there was a research that said that, you know, women are save so much. 20% of the accounts have women's savings. Yet why aren't women getting credit from the banks? So because a lot of it also ties to the fact that women are not credit ready. Let's say you are a makeup artist, right? You're saving all that cash. You have not become a part of the formal economy, right? You have not deposited in the bank. You have not done all the work. And then what bank doesn't know, right? Bank can't see कि तुमने इतना makeup करके इतना कमाया, या right? And the traditional ways of looking at women's businesses. And a lot of women have traditionally worked in a lot of this gig work.
Right.
And a lot of, you know, they've earned money. Just say tuitions, you know, if you'd heard in
Right.
like lower income, a lot of women took tuitions at the time, but they were just collecting a lot of this cash again, like, you know, and it doesn't become a part of the formal economy. So women have always been a part of informal economies. 70% of India's agricultural labor. Usme se 50% is women. But they were never paid. In fact, they were never paid, right? You're underpaid. Like it's so bizarre that there's so many layers to this that one एक तो section of the society वो paid ही नहीं है, उसको तो पैसा ही नहीं देना है, वो agriculture पे labor ही तो है, like it doesn't matter, right? And then second bit becomes when it comes to upper class women, it's like inheritance disparity exists, right?
Oh.
The boys getting
Tell
so
me about
much.
it.
Right? That's when you start thinking about marriage and things like this, and you're like, oh my God, I'm not secure here, I'm not secure there, like where do I go, right? Who
And
do
that
I
kind of makes me feel guilty. I'll be honest. Like, you know, when I had these thoughts and I was like, okay, like, you know, I'm thinking about marriage now and I'm talking to my dad about these things, and I was like, Krithvi, what the fuck? Like, all this while you were waiting to be secure from your dad, like because of your dad, and now you're waiting to be secure because of your husband. Like, you know, it was like such a eureka moment. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's not like I'm not making money. I'm making pretty good money. But it goes into a bank and it stays there. And my dad does some investments and I get some dividends. And I'm like not even aware of exactly what I'm doing. मेरे नाम पे पैसे हैं तो है क्या, मैं नहीं बता सकती आपको. So that guilt was there. Like, I'm educated, I'm like smart, I'm privileged, I have access to everything, and yet I am not financially literate about my own money, forget anything else, you know, and I'm just okay being dependent. So it was kind of like that moment where I was like, okay, no. So you came at a very good time in my life, Sneha Khatri. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I also feel like, you know, things like marriage, and like sometimes it's out of like economic convenience for a lot of people,
Yeah.
right? Like you said, like a lot, like, and
Convenience is the perfect word actually.
right, like marriage does become a matter of like, okay, like I have to be like looked out for in some way or the other, because all the traditional assets, everything is like being passed on amongst the men. So you're like, okay, I'm falling out of the ambit here, like how do I look for security?
Yeah.
It's like yeah. And you know, it's also made to look like so hard. Like I'll give you an example of a client who earns upwards of 1 crore, right? And they said, यार पैसे वैसे का मैं नहीं manage करती, my husband does it, I'm not good at it. And you know, you have the ability to earn 1 crore, you have the ability to like, you know, like earn that much, but you feel, why would you feel like you don't have the ability to manage that? Because they're constantly made to feel like that's why for us one huge aspect of the business has been that, you know, behavioral change. Like phase one was like, let's just go talk to women and tell them like that this you've been brainwashed into thinking like, you know, that this is not important or this is not necessary. This is what ties you to true freedom. You know, if you ever want to be liberated, it begins and ends at money.
It
Like
does.
right, like that's
I mean, the world revolves around money. What is there else in life? It's all we are chasing. I'm a fucking spendthrift, so I keep thinking that if I want to live this type of life, I better be secure in my own finances to do whatever I want with myself without having to ever answer. You know, like my parents' marriage is a very, very traditional marriage where my mom is the housewife caregiver, my dad is the and it's always been like that. They got married when she was probably 19 years old. तो कभी वो तो आया ही नहीं, in a typical बनिया family. And उनकी लड़ाई हो जाती है तो वो, you know, you see that it comes out from both of them. I will not expose my parents like that, but it's not, none of their fault. But it's like, तुम चुप करो, तुम मतलब मैं कमा के देता हूँ तो you know you have to answer to me versus मैं घर का ख्याल रखती हूँ तो तुम ये नहीं. It's like that constant male versus female thing, which I felt like no matter how much we are resisting in our generation, we are also falling there. So I caught myself at that fall where I was like, wait, dude, like step back. Like, you know, like you said, the word convenience, it's like that men are supposed to be the caretakers. Now I'm supposed to be the caregiver. It's okay. It'll be fine. Like he'll manage the money. I'll manage the food. I'm okay with it. There's a reason why all of these things have been like this for so many years. But at some point, but yeah.
And number
Maima is
one
a single girl and we're talking about marriage. Let's give her some space. I'm so sorry, Maima.
And I think Sneha and I are part of the single club, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we are, you know, the number one reason, fun fact, people have divorces in the world is because of the finances. So me and Sneha are getting our finances right, and then we're gonna get married. Yeah.
right. And also
Yeah.
the currency, right? Like what you just said, Krithvi, around exchanging, like, okay, let's say caregiving, you've been doing it all your life. Like there's very nice example that comes to my mind is like, there's a mother who used to go and receive her daughter every day at the gate. You know, she'd like very, very happily like run up to the gate and she's like, oh my god, hey mom, like, you know, every day she'd come from school, she'd receive her, every day she'd come. So that, you know, one day she didn't come, like, you know, she's like not well, she was just sleeping in the room, and then the daughter goes and like screams at her mother. She's like, why didn't you come today? You know, you didn't come. And you know, that's the moment the mother realizes that it's like, oh, it's not just care is also labor, right? Like a lot of care is labor, and that labor is not traded, that labor is not currency. मैं compliments जाके बेच नहीं सकती कि अरे you've been a good wife, right? Like in the market I can't go and buy something from the compliments. You can't be like, you've been a great wife, I mean, people have tried to transactionalize it. Let me buy your Gucci bag, like buy, it's been great, like, you know, you pushed out a child for me, let me buy you this, like something. But the point is that comes at their own acha. Now I feel like I can give her something. Now I feel
Now
like
she deserves something.
deserves something, right? It can't be like I deserve it, right? It can't be like mere paas like I get 50,000 for taking care of your children. Like it's a radical feminist thought from my end, but I would really like for caregiving
Pocket money
salary,
for each
right?
kid,
Compensation, right? Like just give it like according to your net worth. If you are finding a wife, you might as well start paying her in the most like pocket money,
Yeah,
not
and
pocket money man. Sorry, not pocket money manner.
especially
Yeah.
the time when if I'm having the baby, like I know someone personally who
Yeah.
used to earn around 180K a year, but
Yeah.
she got pregnant. She didn't want to have a baby in America. She didn't want to have a baby, but the husband was like, no, like we're 35, let's have a baby. So she was like, okay, the next 2 years when I'm taking care of the baby, I need to be paid in some or the other way. I am taking those 2 years out of my career.
Right, yeah.
Would have gone 180 to like I don't know
And it's a
200
high
or
paying
something.
career.
Exactly. And the husband, I mean, the husband was somehow very practically, I don't know, 2024 husband, or 2050 husband. And he did. He bought his stocks and everything every month. Like, if I am taking 2 years out of my life to take care of the baby, that needs to go somewhere.
A
Yeah,
bit
and
completely behind, because in
completely fine.
America we have read so many studies that you get fired the minute people find out that you're pregnant. and India में तो बोल अब तो आपके बच्चे हो गए, अब आप मैडम क्या करोगे, अब तो ये हो गया, अब तो आप बस it's always like I'm not, the world is telling me that this is it, your life is over now, you've had 2 children, and unfortunately babies like moms more. इसमें मेरी तो कोई गलती नहीं है, अब मेरे पास boobs हैं, दूध भी मेरे पास है, उसको मैं ही अच्छी लगूंगी ना, तो ऐसा तो मैं बोल भी नहीं सकती कि नहीं लड़के तू बैठ, I have to be at home for that 1 year. So it's like, whether I like, that's why I feel like completely different. I'm going on a tangent here, but all
No,
this
you're
postpartum
not.
depression and everything that happens in women is because your autonomy of choice, your independence that you are so used to is completely going, and you see your career dying, your money reducing, everything just happening in front of your eyes because you've given birth to a baby, which should be the most amazing thing you've ever done in your life, right?
Right, and Kriti, I think also when you say that like the baby is dependent, right? So I started noticing that a lot of the dependency can be managed. Like, let's say, for example, a lot of these arguments against formula milk is all peddled. Like, you would know this in
Yeah.
healthcare. Anything that helps women is peddled as like, ye kharab hai.
Kharab hai.
Like, this is bad. Like, you're like, oh my god. Just when I get the opportunity to actually, or anything like when, for example, now they're talking about reproduction moving out of women's bodies, they're saying, oh my god, that's so unnatural. How can
Yeah.
reproduction move out of women's bodies? Because you are like the ma and the the maternal
Correct. You're so
instinct, and
right. That's such a good
you guys
point.
have that emotional instinct within you, and I'm like, no, I didn't have that emotional instinct. I've trained myself to have it. You can
Because I'm
also,
supposed to, right? And if
right.
I can learn this with a baby, I can learn this with some math and some stocks and some compounding interest
Compounding,
bullshit,
right?
you know?
And
So there was a research done where this I think he's an author, right? Reeves, yeah, he's an author where he's arguing that men should start school 2 years later. Why? Because women develop their prefrontal cortex, which is your decision making part of your brain. So we should give compensation to men because now women are suddenly are able to go to colleges, go get jobs, go fight and be in the part of the formal system. So they are like, no, लड़कियां बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही हैं in STEM and everything and all. We need to make space for our poor बेचारे. We are like they're lagging behind. Imagine.
This
This
is like white racism.
this is just maddening, and like how can you even come up with an argument like that? Another thing where I want to get into is like the gender gap, like gender, when the whole idea of earning disparities come, and which is especially in country like India. In America, yeah, it's getting better, but despite getting better, it's still 83 cents, I think, for every
It's
dollar.
less, yeah. And it's even lesser for women of color.
you
This
mean
is
the
like
pay
a
gap,
Western
right?
country
Yeah.
we are talking about. Like, imagine in India where the earning disparity. So, say, like in your, since with Alice, like, do you see like this earning disparity is becoming a problem with women's portfolios and everything?
Yeah. No, that's one of the foundations, right? We realize that women are disadvantaged, right, on every front. Pink tax, right? Pink tax is a tax that on men's products and women's products, it's the same standard product. For example, a razor is a razor, right? It has the same functionality, but women's razors are priced higher.
Because they're prettier. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
No
and
way,
also,
that's real?
yeah,
Yeah.
look it up, and also, you for example, it starts as young as girls, like young girls ka bicycles, just in a pink color, is priced higher than men's products, right? Oh my god, why am I paying like 50 rupees more for a razor which has the same? So I
It's
think
got
for
the
us,
same blade, but
for
it's
the same
marketed as such that women need it special. Like तुम्हारा अलग
special,
कुछ
yeah,
नहीं. It's
like
just a brand.
functionality is
It's
the
just
same.
marketing.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then you
Same
start
guys,
thinking,
I
I
did
think for
not
us,
know that.
yeah. So pink tax
अब
is a big.
चूतिया काट रहे हैं हमारा बैठ के, फिर आगे बोल रहे कि लड़कों को 2 साल बाद डालो तुम्हारी तो.
Right? So pink tax is one. Income disparity is huge. Like, because women are underconfident, they don't ask for more on the table. Like, like another study which was done that said that women often ask for way less, and men, when you go for jobs which were there
No, I
underqualified.
think I know what you're talking about. It's like if as a man I see a job opening and my resume only matches 50%, I will apply. But as a
Yeah.
woman, even if I match 100%, I will think twice like, oh, will I be good enough for this job?
That is
I've
so
read this
true,
research. Yeah.
guys. That
Yeah.
is so
Yeah.
true.
So
And I'm applying for job
systemically,
like कि
yeah.
7 matches है नहीं मिलेगी.
नहीं
Like
मिलेगा और
Indian
आदमी
Right?
लोग कॉन्फिडेंटली अप्लाई करते हैं कोई भी एंड मतलब कुडोस टू देम यार हम ही चूती हैं लाइक हमको भी करना चाहिए लाइक कुडोस टू देम
Yeah, and
ओवर
they're
कॉन्फिडेंस
pushing
की हार
themselves ना, वो हर जगह पुश करते हैं. They're sending the CVs, they're showing up. वो बोल रहे हैं यार men's networking, look at it, no, like look at the men's networking, and I'm talking about senior positions also. They're networking on golf, they're networking on in private members clubs, they're networking on they're even meeting each other on like gambling, like poker woker खेलते साथ में, stuff like that. They're meeting, they're informally also,
Yeah.
and then they're pushing each other out there. Women on the other hand तो free time में तो care work कर रही होती है. Hi mama, hi papa, they're taking care of everybody at home. They are not in their free time, they are not going out and networking.
Yeah.
And when like everything look like work, everything is work. When they are going to work, we have to take them very seriously. Men going to work, okay, like and then suddenly when women are like, she's had a long day at work, she's to come back and again do work, because
Yeah.
a lot of the care work
And that's expected. That front, like I know this couple who is like they love marriage, very progressive family. Interestingly, wife works in the financial industry. Okay, so very very well versed with investments and stocks, and meets all these very very interesting people. Meets CEOs of companies, selling them funds and all of that. And one time, like one of them said that ये अपने काम के बारे में बहुत बात करती है. So it's almost like, okay, I can be successful, but I have to make sure to not harm anyone's ego at the same time. So it's like, that's when, going back to the first thing we talked about, are women just crying wolf, or are there, is there actually a systemic problem? And this is that systemic problem, that at any given stage of life, whether you're someone like me who's completely unaware of financial stuff happening versus someone who works in that industry, you will always be met with some type of judgment, and some people will make you feel some type of way, whether it's the bankers, it's your parents, it's your husbands, it's your in-laws, anything. So it's frustrating.
Guys, the amount of time I've gone on dates and men have just talked about their work and their projects and like what they're doing, and that's all they offer. I can't even tell you. Like,
Before this podcast goes into male bashing mode and all the men in my DMs are like, shut the fuck up, stop hating on us. Let's just talk about the entrepreneur in the room, which is very, very exciting to me. What?
factual bashing. We have
Factual
factual bashing. Okay, go on.
I love that. Okay, no, but I mean, no offense to any men around. I hate that I have to say this, but I think like Sneha said in the beginning, finally, we are open about these things and women are talking to each other about these things, and we are learning. Like, we understand that there are so many things that we need to take effort in. Like, I'm going to go downstairs to Papa and be like, portfolio kholo. Dikhao bhi, kya hai hamare wahan pe, mujhe janna hai, But coming to you, Sneha, we've been talking about this platform, we've heard a little tidbits here and there. What is Alice Club? We understand that you started it, but I think it's a very interesting 3-tiered model that you've made. And I want you to explain it to me in layman's language so I can sell it to my friends further on. Please tell me, what is your startup, Alice Club, and how is it helping women?
So we've created a club where women can first come and talk like we are talking about finance, about money with each other at ease, at convenience, and there's nobody will make you feel dumb. Nobody will make you like feel like you don't know enough. We're here to like support each other, create a community. And as a service, what we do is we identify 3 problems, right? Like there is investing, there is credit, and there is insurance. These are your 3 journeys that you have with money, which we think is a holistic approach. Now, what we have done is we've tried to take a net worth based approach where we have democratized, this is private wealth is usually done for, high net worth individuals. And what we have tried to do is take that approach and bring it and make it accessible to everyone. And that's why we say there's no minimum, there's no maximum, because we don't want women to feel like, only, and there's this concept that if only I have this amount of wealth, maybe I can
Then
start.
I can invest.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we don't want them to feel excluded in any way. So that's why for women we started with a very flexible plan of like where we'll manage your entire portfolio, and where we give you investment options, where we give you a credit against investment also. For example, I was telling Mahima about it, that for example, even if you feel like you don't have enough to start, right, you at least start investing a little bit in the mutual funds, and tomorrow if you need some money, then you take credit against those mutual funds and use that, because that interest is only 10%, right? But your mutual funds, for example, on an average are making 15%. You still 5% in the delta, right? So that 5% base, that's how a net worth based approach works, because we keep an eye on your portfolio. And with, like, AI, and just to give you a quick example, like, you think like a lot of people's TCS and all these other companies are usually body shopping IT companies. So now, let's say you've heard in the market it's great, its performance is great, the PE is good, like price earning ratio is good. The thing is, if nobody's keeping an eye on your portfolio and nobody's in the industry, like for example, you guys, you are in the biotech industry, you know the next thing, right? You know who's doing what. And so it's very important to leave it to the sectoral expert at that time. And like I said, women have their hands full. We don't want to do a DIY approach right away for women. We have a platform where you can look at your investments transparently, you can calculate, we have a calculator, we have everything. But what we don't want women is to take the burden of learning finance. Like, you wouldn't take the burden of learning medicines, right? Just because you go to a doctor, right?
Right.
You wouldn't be like, acha, mujhe sara medicine seekhna hai. So you understand you understand the landscape, you understand, so that nobody is like fooling you. And we're literally here so that, because bankers have been fooling you, we're here like, because we're here to give you all the best options out there. Like, we're like, okay, we keep an eye on your portfolio from every angle, and we make you the best returns on it. Like, okay, you're paying very high on insurance, we'll reduce that, we'll park your money. Like, let's say for example, if you have to de-risk your portfolio, you're getting older, then we put more of your money in bonds. We, like, so there's a whole system with, like, for example, Mahima's needs and Kritvi's needs and Sneha's needs are very
different.
different. And that's why DIY in India is great, but people lose money also, because they don't know, like, mujhe kab kaise kitna paisa chahiye, right? Like, and we are like, okay, we plan according to your goals. So Kritvi is getting married, we plan according to that. Mahima is like, wants to study or do something else, we plan according to that. Or Kritvi will need to start another business in 2 years. We'll be like, acha, theek hai. We know Kritvi is going to start a business, so Kritvi, you need this much money in your emergency fund.
Right.
So this is what we do. And of course, when we scale it, we'll need to hire more and more relationship managers, and and that's the aim. More and more women in the finance industry without toxicity, and where women are talking to women about money, and in a very relaxed environment. We want to open a space up, like a cafe or something, where women can come, chill, talk about money.
Maybe
and
we
all.
don't knit, but we smoke joints and paint. It could be either or.
Anything at all, like, whatever the future holds, like, it's an open one, and it's an inclusive one. And it's one where nobody feels like they're judged, or and it's also for, like, imagine if this is what women are going through. Imagine trans people, imagine other vulnerable sections of the society, right? So we also want to open the platform up for anybody who feels exclusionary practices from banking. We want them to feel like, hey, we're here, like, we're not here to, like, judge you on anything, your sexuality, your gender, your how much, like, 5 रुपए भी तुम्हें 10 रुपए भी करने हैं, go for it.
Karo.
Start with us. There's no minimum, no maximum. We just want you to get a taste of it and get in it. So that's us. That's like what we're trying to do.
Wow, kudos to Alice Club.
Very futuristic company. I
I-
thought you would see it in future maybe, but you doing it in India in 2024, like, really, like, people like you inspire me. I've been so, like, Sneha gang. I know I'm gonna wear like a t-shirt, Sneha gang or something. Look, no, lovely.
I want to
Lovely.
send my resume for chef at the cafe. Thanks very much. No, but I think community is so important to women. And I think one of the things you said in the beginning about how men have these set exposure points, a golfing thing. Like, my brother has been learning golf since he was probably 7 years of age, क्योंकि उसको पता था कि 20 साल बाद मेरे को CEOs के साथ golf खेलना है, तो मैं गंदा नहीं खेल सकता. और मैंने भी शुरू किया 1 साल, I was like, fuck it, dance class जाती हूँ, So it was kind of like they're already so hyper aware of where they'll meet rich people, how they can, what are those touch points for them to actually grow their net worth, whatever your network is, your net worth and all of that. And it's one of those things where I think women, everyone thinks कि औरतें gossip ही करती रह जाती है, but I think कितनी बार हम complain कर रही होती है कि यार मैं क्या करूँ, we're just so confused and And unfortunately, no one really has a solution for that. Like today, you're one of the first women I am meeting in my age group who is so financially literate, and talking to has given me that confidence कि चल ठीक है यार, इसको आता है तो मैं भी सीख लूंगी, क्या big deal है types, you know. And इतनी openly हम इस बारे में बात करें. Otherwise, me and Mahima, हमने I'll never forget इतनी stupid बातें कर रखी है. कृथ्वी, you're coming back from US, 5 लाख रुपए बचा के आना तुम, ठीक है? पापा कर तुम्हें महीने के $2,000 दे रहे हैं, उसके 200 साइड किया करो. Like हम ऐसी बेसिक बातों में खुश हो रहे हैं कि, and I'll tell you, मैंने वो 5 लाख रुपए बचाए हैं, पर वो मेरे बैंक में पड़े हैं पिछले 6 महीने से, मैंने वो कहीं नहीं डाले हैं. And I'm like, देखेंगे क्या होगा. The 6 month of that compounding interest, even if it was 5,000 rupees, I've lost on, you know.
No. Oh my God, please. There's so much you can.
So okay, I'm investing in Alice Club. 5 lakh rupees you have from me. Please do with it what you
Like,
what
right
you
now is
may.
a very good time. The market's down, so.
Awesome.
Wow, you got a customer. Yay.
No, I have a question though.
I'm gonna get Mahima to
Already
do it
100
too. But
pounds
like,
on my
Mahima,
name,
I'm
guys, so
gonna
I
get you
can't
with
really.
like
Yeah.
100 rupees. I don't care. You're coming.
You're coming.
Okay, done.
So, question to you, related to Alice Club. Now, we talked a little bit about how banks can be fraudulent towards women, bankers can be judgmental towards women, and obviously, you know, you're saying that you've created this non-judgmental space. How can we convince women that this is a secure space to put their money? You know, as a new player in the market, if someone is listening to this podcast, what can give them that security that, okay, if I'm investing with Alice money, my money is safe and, you know, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. One is that we don't invest your money with us, so your money is always under the mutual fund house, right?
Okay.
So your money is always under your name, under different instruments.
Okay.
What we do is we are overlooking everything, so that, for example, if there's a volatility in the market, if there's anything, we become your we become your buddy also in a way, right? To discuss it. Hey, what do you think? You know, we should do, and you know, we are obviously suggestive. We don't push anyone because that's like against regulations, and you know, we have had, see, the one reason why you cannot guide anyone to for sure do it is because exploitation has been happening, because like I said, like insurance, right? 40% is the amount of premiums. So why we also created a holistic platform, again, net worth approach, right? So we want because see, ultimately Krithvi is not going to stay with me if the returns are not great. Eventually she's only going to stay with me if there is a substantial. So you come see the returns and you see the portfolio build, and it takes time, it takes effort, and you know, it's like having somebody to even just discuss money.
It's my
with,
finance friend.
Yeah, your finance friend. I love that. I'm gonna steal that.
See, communications marketing person.
Clearly, that's great. Yeah, so that bit where you can just, you know, brainstorm or talk, or these are my goals. It's so personal, right?
Yeah.
So we are only here to see that your entire we create your entire portfolio in a manner where you feel okay, I'm feeling very secure and safe. And again, the money bit is not with us, is with the mutual fund.
Okay, so we're not investing in Alice Club, we're investing through Alice Club, correct?
Right, yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we
And it's
facilitate
a
it.
platform,
We
it's
have
like a
an
networking
license.
club where, lovely.
yeah.
Where you come, you meet with other like-minded women who are investors.
Women for women.
Yes.
Neha Khatri for president.
Yeah.
Love it. I think this was such a
Such
nice
a good
conversation.
podcast. So much new information. I thought I knew, but I think I'm just scratching the surface.
I know.
Tell me, as someone, where should I start? I think that's the main question that most women ask. कि
Most
शुरू कहाँ से
women
करना है? अब, like you said earlier, you know, everyone is in different stages of life. I'm thinking of getting married. Maima's doing, you know, her masters somewhere. And we've also spoken about this, that there's no one solution fits all type of situation here. So as any woman listening to this podcast, what is the first thing that they should do? And the second thing should be invest with Alice Club, but we'll get to that later.
No. Start by working on the fear, I think. Start by working on the fear of money fear hata do, because there's a lot of taboo that talking about money, or for example, she's so money minded, or you know, gold digger hai, ye hai, you know, it's I am money minded, yeah, I want to talk about money. This is a very practical aspect of my life. Let's remove this shame of money. I am money minded. It is for the right reasons. I'm securing my future. We need to first get rid of that, and second, of course, investing with you know, SIP and you know these. And of course, if you want to build a larger portfolio, for example, you want to look at insurance, this, that, of course, come to us. And third, I want to also talk about quickly, like, West May, there was this trend, something trending, don't buy that coffee, don't buy this, don't buy that. I'm like, please don't do that. Please don't do that, because you cutting your everyday expenses has got nothing to do with you
Don't
building.
buy the avocado toast.
Yeah, don't buy that, right? Like, for example, and yeah, sometimes these things are like, you reward yourself with these little things, right? Like, I've had a hard day, I go out and get a coffee, go for it. Like, of course, not burn money in an excessive manner, but like little things are, it's the bleeding bits that you need to stop, right? For example, a credit card debt, very bad. Like, 28%.
Mahima? She's been in credit card debt for like 7 years now.
Yeah, these are the things you need to
Keep
stop.
going
Like,
on
these are
and on, this
bleeding
will
money.
stop.
Like,
Help me.
28%, right?
Someone
Like,
donate me
exactly. You feel like
$2,000.
you're in a trap. You're like, oh my God, you might as well take out a loan from a bank, pay off the credit card debt, because that's at a lower percentage than this is, right? Of
Right.
course, you start thinking, Arey, one debt, then another debt. No, it's always the percentage of which one where the math is going, right? Like, for your, basically the number is so something we follow, right? I'm just going to quickly read it out to you. So, like, if you expect a double digit return and yet you're paying an interest which is double the amount of return. So for example, 15 to 30% to tumhe, let's say I'm saying, talking about someone who gambles in horse stables, उसको 15% ही मिलेगा, लेकिन उसने 30% से मार्केट से बोरो किया है. That's the math we need to always follow, that the rate at which you're borrowing and the rate at which you're returning.
Right.
It has to be a balance. We have to strike a balance, and the more, for example, you work, that's why the need to work with an advisor, so that they are not going to be as emotional as you. They're going to push you and be like, what are you doing? Like, like, let's cut this out, let's do this, let's add this. You need someone like that. That's nice. And of course, cut out, like, again, if anyone's in a credit card debt at all, please stop. Like, get it out.
Mahima, leave this podcast right now and go pay your credit card.
Don't buy. I would say don't buy a credit card. Like, I know it's like, I know, but or for example, how Kritvi is saying, so for example, alternative credit options bahut hai. Of course, we all need credit, yeah. Like, I'm not against credit. All I'm saying is credit card debt is like a dangerous one.
Yeah.
But you all need, just credit against investment is so good, right? Like, for example, you have like 10 lakh in mutual fund. Uske against 50% you take 5 lakh. It comes in your account. What else
Yeah.
you need? Like she's saying, know that's your money.
It's
know this-
visible money, I think.
and your mutual fund is making more than the interest you're paying, so you're still winning. You're losing. You have to just see how to leverage debt in a manner where you're winning,
Yeah.
like, so that
Leverage debt in a manner where you're winning. Sneha Khatri 2024. That's so, love it. All right, Sneha, this was, I don't know where I'm going to cut this episode. People, please listen to this 1 hour long conversation, which we think is very important. Loved your, shed the fear as the first step. I think that was so awesome. मुझे लगा बोली कि पहले जाके पढ़ो, portfolio क्या होता है, ये क्या होता है. But I love that her approach is like, bro, I don't need you to do more work. Let us do the work, but just trust us and start talking about it.
I think we've summed everything up, and thank you so much for having me, and and one thing I want to say is I am so much in love with like the idea of women coming together and talking. So for example, so many times you get invited by some interview, news, this, that, and I feel like that's great, but this is so much more exciting, that women coming together, talking about things in the most candid manner, in the most shed it all manner, because I feel like this is
Besharam
where the
manner.
real, and this is where the real content is coming out of now, because I am at least done with the manufactured content, but we need to have more and more of these conversations, and this the fact that you're facilitating it and creating such a community, I love it. I am loving this. Like,
We
so
facilitated once in 3 months, but I'll take the compliment.
We're gonna get better, Chris.
Exciting time.
okay,
All
lovely.
right, boys and girls, this was an incredible boys and no boys.
I
only
love
girls.
that we have to like give them a
Little bit of importance. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Sneha. You're doing God's work, or at least women's work, and I'm so excited
And
to
I'm also
be.
trying to make finance slightly pink. Like,
Oh,
I'm like,
love
I
it.
don't
So
want it to be like so boring.
I know
looking.
it's all grays and black.
And that's why the colors also.
My
yaar.
brother works in a financial firm and I'm doing some branding for them, and he's like, don't make it too cute, okay? It's a financial firm. I'm like, you wait and watch. I'm gonna put Barbie pink and icons and everything on this fucking presentation now. But anyway, it was wonderful speaking to you. I think she's stuck. Is she stuck for you also?
Yeah, I think she's stuck. Oh, she's
Okay.
calling me. Hello?
Internet chali gaya. weak desi thing just happened. Our guest's battery has died. So this is the end of the podcast. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll link everything below. Check out Alice Club if you're a woman. Start thinking about your money, start investing your money, at least start talking about your money, and that's a win for us all. Love you.
Bye.
Every time we come back with a bang.
Please.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay, Mimes, I'm also going to eat then.